Positive Impact. My name is Joy Eleanor, and I am your host for today. Positive Impact is a program where we talk about social issues that affect the family and the society generally. Today we're going to look at the legal implications of domestic violence. We have a very special guest. She is a barrister at law, barrister Rachael Princewill. We'll get to see her when we come back. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Okay. Welcome back. This is Positive Impact. My name is Joy Eleanor. And today we're going to look at the implications, the legal implications of domestic violence. We have our special guest here. She's barrister Rachael Princewill. She's a past executive member of Nigerian Bar Association, Oxford branch, member of International Federation of Women Lawyers, FEDER. You are welcome to the program. Yes, we've always had guests coming and talk about domestic violence. We've seen various aspects of domestic violence, but today we have invited you here to speak on the legal implications of domestic violence. So we want to know, what are the implications, the legal implications of domestic violence? First of all, maybe you refresh people's memory what domestic violence is, then you can take it from there.
All right, thank you for having me here. My name, like you just said, is Rachael Princewill. Domestic violence, if I'll have to break it down to the layman's definition, it's an act. It's always an act, forceful, aggressive, that is done to the other person, that is carried out on the other person without the person's permission, and usually it breaks down to any form of harm that is done to the person. It could be the person's emotions, could be on the person's mental reasoning, it could be on the person's physical body, like I just said. There are different forms of it, of domestic violence.
Yeah, I know you do. As a lawyer, as a legal, you're a legal practitioner also, you must have come in contact with lots of people who have brought their cases to you, about domestic violence. So what exactly is the cause of domestic violence? Why do people go into domestic violence?
Thanks. If we want to break it down to why people go into domestic violence, the question is vast. Why people go into domestic violence? I'm not a psychologist here. I'm just a lawyer here. But from my own perspective, from my own career as a person, a lot of things happen. It goes with circumstances these people find themselves. Will I say even, will I call it hardship of the day? Will I call it different occurrences that happen in people's life? Sometimes it depends on the upbringing of some persons, that they've not been able to school themselves out of it. It follows from that, and it stems into the person's act and behavior to the next person. Sometimes it's even from a borrowed peer group thing they see, they act, they watch on social medias, on social platforms. It depends on a whole lot. It cannot be on one channel alone.
Okay. So what does the law say about domestic violence in Nigeria? Or they have laws for the different states, or it's a general law for the whole country?
Right now, we have in Rivers State what we call Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, which is called the VAP law. The VAP law has the VAP Act 2015. In Rivers State is the VAP law 2015 also. Now, this VAP law has tried to bring together all forms of offenses that the law has looked at and place punishment and fines if you're found guilty of that offense. It stems from part 1, which defines the whole of the offenses, and then to part 2, which talks about the jurisdiction of the court and all that.
Okay, so what are the consequences when one is found guilty of domestic violence? Are there consequences?
Of course, there are consequences. If we look at, I was trying to, let me go back. Now, domestic violence has different types, different forms. It comes in different forms. We're talking about domestic violence, sexual violence. We're talking about emotional, psychological. We're talking about the physical one, which is happening every day in the society, which has to do with battery,
Yes.
which has to do with assault, and the forms which we see daily, things like rape, defilement. What the VAB law today in Rivers State has done, which we also have in Lagos and every other part that has domesticated the act into the laws of the state, giving the definition on in the criminal code to expanding it in the violence against persons and prohibition law, which we have now. This law don't just define rape as penetration into the vagina area.
Okay.
It goes into defining rape as the entry, the penetration, sorry to say, the penetration into the mouth, the anus, because what we've seen today is boys are being defiled,
Yes.
young men are being raped.
Yeah.
So it has expanded that definition. It doesn't just stop on just the girl child.
Yeah.
The boy child also is being seen, and that's why that law is against persons, not just the gender called female.
Yeah.
It has expanded. Now, today, rape, by the definition of rape in the VAB law, is for life if you're found guilty.
Really?
Yes, it's for life. Now, it depends. Now, there's an exception to the age of the person if
Okay.
it is a minor that committed that offense. But to an adult that has committed that offense of rape, it's for life.
Okay, so there are no options like paying fine?
No,
but
there are no options of
Okay.
fine. There are no options of fine to rape. We have spousal battery. Now, that is the physical side of violence. We also have incest that has been defined in the violence against persons of prohibition law, which it touches on the father sleeping with the daughter, or the mother sleeping with the son, or the uncle sleeping with his niece, or vice versa, the aunt sleeping with her.
That also comes with life imprisonment?
No, it doesn't come with life imprisonment. It comes with an optional fine and also a term in prison.
Okay, so let's look at verbal abuse in the workplace or in the marketplace. What is a punishment for that, and how can one, if you want to sue someone, how do you prove that this person abused you verbally?
Okay, thank you. Verbal abuses is an offense under the law in the first place, and if one is able to prove that this person was verbally abused, or the abuser abused you, can show that it came from the abuser,
Okay.
it's an offense in the first place, and it's punishable under the law.
Okay.
Now, in the workplace, it's easy for the workers. It could be a male, it could be a female who has been so abused. The workplace has its own very good arrangement system, I want to believe, because I also come from an arrangement of some sort where you can make a report to a head of admin and that can be addressed. However, it's very difficult in the open place called the marketplace, because if you remember what I said before now, we need victims. You need the witness to be in court, and this kind of action can be served, cannot go if this person cannot be served or reached. Now, if it happened in the marketplace and before that person is apprehended or before that person is caught by the police and arrested, that person disappears into the thin air. You can't get such person. The abuse is now hanging in the air. Such person cannot get that, how will I put it, cannot get what the law would have ordinarily given to you as your rights.
Okay.
Now, but in the workplace, it is easy for you because it's a confined environment where you can make reports, like I said, to a sectional head, to an admin head, or to a head of service, whichever that plays out in the small section of the office. And the law in violence against persons prohibition law has placed it, if found guilty of such offense, you can go to 6 months in prison.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Are there fines?
Yeah, there are fines also.
Okay.
The fines are up to 100,000.
Okay.
But
Either
these
you
are
go to
all the
prison or
discretion.
you
These
pay
are all
the
the
fine.
discretion
Okay.
of the court. So
Okay.
it's not either. It's not either where you one can say, "I'll just give the 100,000 and I walk away." No, it's not either. It takes the discretion of the court, what is found, what is placed before the court, and how the matter goes. So either way.
It's really glad to know that these laws are there, because a lot of people get abused at workplace verbally, and I mean they don't say anything about it. So is it because of our culture, or they're afraid or something? But well, they get to hear it from you. We'll take a short break, viewers, and when we come back, we'll look at an example of domestic violence, a recent one in Nigeria. Don't go away, stay tuned.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me? 'Cause I
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. We're talking about domestic violence, the implications, the legal implications, and right now we're going to look at an example of a recent domestic violence in Nigeria. So you want to tell us something real people can relate with that has happened, that is real, and how did they get judgment, or the person get judgment?
Yes, thank you. From the beginning, I'd said that domestic violence has different forms. It has the form of the physical abuse, it has the emotional abuse, it has the psychological abuse, it goes on to having even the sexual abuses.
Yes.
Now, all these are forms of violence, abuses that is done either to a boy, a man, a girl, or a woman. Recently, I wouldn't call it more recently, but we also have, apart from the Violence Against Persons and Prohibition Law here in River State, 2015, we also have the River State Dehumanization and Herbal Traditional Practice Law, that is of 2003. It's here with us in River State.
What does that mean, dehumanization?
Now, it has
Herbal.
to, yes, it touches on the rights of women, the rights of women when their husband passes. Harmful traditional practices where women are made to stay and probably sit by the curbs or drink cups water. All that are violence, all that is abuses. Now, River State has a law against such practices.
That's interesting.
It is here with us. But lots of times, like I said, people don't get to know this law exists. As a member of FIDA, we do a whole lot of sensitization. We have even broken down the verb law into special English called the pidgin English. Now, this law, a handy of it, when you pick it as a handy book, it's in pidgin English, which helps you to understand the laws as it is. So if you feel the English version is too difficult, maybe the woman out there is finding it difficult to understand that this is happening, how can I get help? That copy can be handed over to this person so that she also can understand, or someone else can help her read it so that she can understand that. We also have the River State Abolition of Female Circumcision Law. Now, that also is violence against the body of the girl child, against the body of the lady out there who hasn't given her consent to be circumcised. That's, circumcision is an offense.
So people just see domestic violence just, this physical battery, but now you're going deeper. So women need to know that when they lose their husband and they're asked to drink the water or sit by the, they don't like it, they have to report to who?
Speak out.
To speak out.
No,
now,
they have to speak out.
Okay, to who?
Now, we have, the VAB law has all that put together.
Okay.
FIDA, as a member of the, I call them human rights out there, is also one of the social protectors. The social welfare is there that you can report to. You can report to FIDA, like I said, and help is on the way for you.
Okay, that's really good to know. Especially for the circumcision you talked about. So if you don't want to be circumcised, or a mother does not want the daughter, because they circumcise the women, young girls, not even girls.
It's girls.
Yeah. So you need to speak out.
You need to speak out.
You don't just swallow it and.
You need to speak out. Also, people around need to help the social workers to understand that this thing is happening within their environment, because you can come in like an undercover, if I'll call it that way. You can come in without even telling us who you are. If you tell us this is happening there,
then you come in and take care of it. Now, that book you just talked about, that little pamphlet, is it free? Can people have it so they can read, like you said, it's written in pidgin, so they can go through it, and is it free?
it's for a token, but it's usually free.
Okay, no problem. I know why I'm asking, because we want to give out some of these to the first 50 people that would like, subscribe, and comment about this on our channel. So they're going to get this little feeder book. Is it feeder book? Should I call it that?
No. Violence against persons.
Violence against persons in special English for free.
The VAB law.
Okay, the VAB law. So it helps you. You get to know, who to call, where to go to, and those things that are wrong and not right in the society. So let's go on. That is very, very interesting. So you're still talking about the. You want to give
Yes,
me,
I was trying to say something. Now, violence against persons and prohibition law has taken care of a whole lot of forms of violence that is happening. The circumcision law is there. That's against female circumcision. We also, recently, we had a judgment of the High Court on it. We've had that.
Welcome back to Positive Impact with Joy, and my guests remain Barrister Rachael Princewill. So, before we went on break, you were trying to give us a true judgment or story, life story of domestic violence in Nigeria and the judgment that was received.
Thank you. A lot of this domestic violence, perpetrators of this act remain behind the scene, not because the laws are not there. But I can say, sitting down, that most times these perpetrators go unpunished because the victims, the weakness, the survivors don't come out to take this matter seriously.
Why do you think they don't come out?
Now, a lot of things go into play. A lot of things happen when we hear reports of domestic violence. Either is emotional, either it's physical, spiritual, sexual, or the physical one that is occurring every day in our society. One of those forms, or one of those things that usually happens, is interventions. Intervention has made, how would I put it, a mockery of the laws. The laws are there, but when interventions come in, these victims tend to slide out. They tend to move away. They tend to close the curtain to justice. Justice is there waiting for them, but they are not coming forth to take that right. There is nothing justice can do, because when the church intervenes, the girl shouldn't be seen, the rape child shouldn't come out, the defiled child shouldn't go out, the man beaten, the woman beaten, the boy who has been destroyed through the anus by another adult out there. What will my family say? What will the society say? All this happening all together. There is nothing the law can do if you don't come out. The law wants to take its course, but if the victim is not willing and ready to come out, there's nothing we can do. Now, the other forms of violence is also touching on the rights of the women, the child, the man out there, the men out there. Recently, there's a right, there's a violence against the rights of women inheriting properties from their father's home, which was recently passed in River State. And that law, till tomorrow, people are still shouting, people are still like, no, they have moved out of the house, they don't have a right in this house. They're still agitators, they're still agitating why a woman needs to own a property in her father's house. But I thank the governor of River State, Chief Barrister Nyesom Wike, who had put that law forward for us. It has helped a whole lot of ladies now coming out to say, I'm the only daughter in the house. I bought a property in this house. I deserve to have this property in this house. And I have that right. There's a law. I'm ready to take it to court. And recently in court, we just had a judgment we just had a judgment where 3 sisters took their brothers to court on the rights of their father's property. And they had judgment in the High Court of River State. And that is one novel one for us. It's a recent judgment, and to every girl out there, to every woman out there, come to justice. Justice is ready, waiting to give that to you.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to the program. I have really been impacted, and a lot of things you have said today, it's an eye opener. And I know viewers watching, they have learned something. And we're going to invite you again another time so we can talk more on, the implications, legal implications of domestic violence. I know it's a very wide topic, and we're thankful to have you. And viewers, we've come to the end of the program, and do not forget that we have some pamphlets here. We have the English version, we have a special English a version for those in the rural areas or those who just understand pidgin English. You have all the laws here, so when you go through domestic violence, when you don't know what you're going through, you go through this book and you find answers and who to call and where to go to. So we're saying the first 50 people that like, share, subscribe and comment on our channel will get free of this book. It's a little token, but we're not selling it to you. We're giving it to you for free. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. See you again next week. God bless.
Can anybody out there hear me?